The basic how did we get here is enough to say, well, clearly there was a God. I really don't think there's any really convincing arguments that God's not real. And that's just because it seems too clear that the complexity of humanity could just have happened by accident. So I guess the challenge I would say is really get into science and really fall in love with studying and understanding just how complicated humanity is. It's really hard to come away from learning just how complicated DNA is, to walk away from that and go, yeah, I think that probably just popped into existence. The Bible's stance on whether or not you believe in God actually talks about this a few times, where it just says creation itself has made it very clear. It's made it very clear that there is a God. The idea that there wasn't a God at the beginning just means either there was a spontaneous beginning that wasn't caused by anything, which doesn't really make sense, because what would have caused it? Well, nothing would have caused it. Well, then nothing would have happened. Like the law of inertia tells us, well, if nothing was happening, nothing would have continued to happen. Or it means there was never a beginning. But if there was never a beginning, then it creates these paradoxes that, if there was never a beginning, and it only takes a few 100 billion years for all of everything in existence to fizzle out and the universe to go dark and the stars to burn out. We've already had a few 100 billion years pass if there was never a beginning. So that already would have happened. So the idea that life could exist at all doesn't make sense in a universe where there was never a beginning. It's like there's paradoxes that make a lack of God impossible. There had to be an uncaused cause, and that uncaused cause had to be intentional, because it was clearly intentionally created, had to be very powerful, right? So now you're talking about a powerful and personal thing that had no beginning and didn't need a cause and was able to cause the rest of existence. That sounds a lot like God. So just because of that, and that's called the Kalam cosmological argument for the existence of God. If you want to look into that more, I encourage you to. There is, I really think, no good argument against it. I haven't heard a good convincing argument against just the argument from causation. How did we get here? The basic how did we get here is enough to say, well, clearly there was a God. Welcome to our podcast.